Hello YouTube, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews. Today we're going to be doing some roping demonstrations and some knots. Um, I run a tree service in Jacksonville, Florida, which is in Orange Park, Florida, and this is one of the first knots that I started using when I got taught by one of the best climbers in Jacksonville, and this is one of the first knots he taught me. And then of course I bought a book and kept studying them and practicing and studying them, and then it got better and better to where you want to get to the point where you can almost tie this knot. There's a bunch of different ways to tie it, but you want to get super familiar with tying this knot, because this knot comes in very handy, and also too it keeps you safe if you know how to tie this knot well. Okay, this is the Bowline knot. Some people call it the Bolin's knot, but it's one of the mostly, I guess, widest used knots in the tree industry. We use it every day. I use it sometimes multiple times a day. Basically, this is your rope here, and I like to have the rope, I kind of pull it to me because I'm more familiar of tying it, because I'm usually in a tree and I usually have the rope coming down at an angle. So, but anyway, basically what you do, I know this is going to be backwards for you. Take one hand and you twist this into a circle, right? Let me show you that again. You twist it and you pinch it together. So basically this is what you have. You've got a loop in the rope, okay? Now when you have the loop in the rope and the loops on the top side, what you want to do is you want to take the end of the rope and you want to put it through the hole, and then you want to go around the end of the rope and then back through the hole and then pull it tight. And then that's your Bolin's knot. And the tighter you pull it, the tighter that knot gets. And you can basically work that knot until you're comfortable and you're sure that it's set. See how tight that is? I keep pulling on it, keep setting it, and then see how tight that is. It should be so tight that the rope will break before that knot comes out, if you have it set right. And another thing too is, this tail is kind of small. You want that tail at least to be 6 inches or longer. So this is like the smallest tail you would use if you were roping something. Actually, I normally have a bigger tail than that. So, but this would be good for, like if you're just tying something down, or if you have a small limb. But if you got something bigger, more meaty, this is the bare minimum. You want more than that. You want more tail than that, because if you don't have this super tight, sometimes it can pull through a little bit, and you don't want this tail coming out. Especially a lot of times too, you can use this knot to rappel off of once you're done cutting a tree down and you're going to ready to pull the tree over. Basically you do a running Bolin's, which is the same knot. It's just basically this rope is through here. And so then you have, when you put this around something and pull it tight, like so, that's your running Bolin's. And a lot of times when you're a tree climber, that's your last knot you tie. And then basically you put your descender, whatever descender, figure eight, or whatever you're using on this rope. So if you don't tie this knot right and it's not good and set, that's your life on the line. You can fall, however many feet you try it off of. So this is a very, very important knot to learn, and you got to make sure it's done right before you put your life on the line. Again, this is the Bolin's knot. I'm going to untie. What's another thing nice is too, if you know how to untie it, no matter how tight it gets, you can pull on that back loop. If you try to do it any other way, you won't be able to get it undone as easy. Once you undo that back loop, the knot comes right out. It's very easy to come out. I've seen thousands of pounds on these ropes, and they come out if they're tied right. Sometimes they do get tight, but I've always been able to get them out. Okay, here's the rope. There's the end of it. Okay, I'm going to take one hand and I'm going to twist the rope. Twist it, and I'm going to pinch it together and make a loop. Right? There's a loop. Hold it with the other hand so you can see it. There's a loop right there. Basically, it's just these, you're taking the rope and you're twisting it and making a loop. Twisting it and making a loop. Then you're holding it. You're pinching those two together. Then you take the end of your rope. This is how I teach my guys. You go up through the hole. Rabbit goes up through the hole. It goes around the telephone pole. Then back in the hole again. And then basically you just want to tighten it. You just work the knot. You just keep pulling and pulling. Pulling on these. Pulling and pulling. Pulling and pulling. Just work the knot. Work the knot. Work the knot. Okay. Okay, now the knot is nice and tight. That knot is not coming out. And see how long my tail is this time? That's acceptable right there. That's a nice long tail. Alright. There's your knot. And I always keep pulling on this and make it tight as possible. You always want to get that knot as tight as possible. It's not going to slip. Okay. And then if you want to turn this into a Bowline's knot, you can just basically take the end of the rope and stick it through there. Okay. And then once you tighten it up, it's not going anywhere. Then you can rappel off that knot. Alright. It's a Bowline's knot, and then it's a running Bowline's right there because it tightens up. Alright. I'm going to do the running Bowline's on a separate video, but that's a running Bowline's, and you could do that if you can put it over something like a pole or a branch or something like that. But normally, if you're in a tree and you can't just throw it over the top, you're gonna have to do a running Bowline's, but you're gonna have to tie the Bowline's after you put it around the rope. You can't do that unless you already have the tree pretty much down, or you just have a stick you can throw it over. Alright, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews. Again, pulling that last hoop backwards loosens up the whole knot. See that? Actually, I'm doing it wrong. There it is, right there. You turn it over, undo that last loop, and then the knot comes right out. Alright, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews. Bowline or Bowline's knot, whatever you want to call it. And that's how you do it. If you like this video, crush the like button, subscribe, and push the like button if you like it or not. No pun intended. Have a great day.